Hi guys, it's Nicole and I'm back again today with Sara Scraps working through Creating with Collections Volume 4. Quick recap, I took my kit to a crop in February and I worked on, I think it was 5 layouts. Today I'm going to be doing a single page layout. As I'm sitting here, I am blanking on the sketch that I used. It was a sketch. I do think it was a 2-page sketch and I only used one side of the sketch. When I get to the point of editing and going to post this video, I will go ahead and pull that sketch and figure out where I got it from. 100% it's a Scrapbook Generation sketch, but I will leave you guys a note down in the description for the specific sketch because I know a lot of you kind of want to know either what the specific sketch was or like which bundle or which sketchbook it's from. I do think I did modify the photos a tiny bit. I may have taken one out. I think the original sketch kind of called for 3 photos kind of in a vertical orientation and then like the big one. I took one out of the middle because I really only had like 3 photos from this particular session that I felt like I wanted to use. Previous years, I think I've gotten a better mix of sort of individual parent with both kids. Every year it's kind of just a different mix of what our photographer sends us, and I just scrap with like which ones are my favorite. I don't necessarily feel like I need to use every single one or I need to fit each one in there. Typically by the time I've done, I'd say anywhere between 4 and 6 layouts for our family photos, I'm just done. I'm tired of looking at them. I feel like I've done it and I'm gonna kind of move on. And this is gonna be another one of those ones that I don't really journal on. Typically the ones that I journal on will be the ones dedicated specifically to each kid. Everything else I tend to just kind of go with a fun or meaningful title, and then the layout is just going to serve a purpose of housing those photos and being pretty. Like, that's really all I'm kind of asking of this. So knowing that I had edited my photos to be 4x3s and that I was taking one out, I went ahead and used one of those 3x4 journaling cards that I purchased the pack. I think I've only used a couple so far and I think I've pretty much die cut from them. So coming home from this crop after doing these 5 pages, it is kind of on my brain to almost come up with like a dedicated layout to kind of use up a lot of those 3x4 cards. So that's kind of in the back of my mind of, what do I want to use them for? I also kind of feel like I'm done with this photo session. So now I kind of need to decide, okay, do I take the following year photo session, which would have been 2022, and also do those with this collection? Or do I kind of start going off topic and start doing sort of just individual layouts with photos from pretty much anything? I'm not really sure yet. I'm still kind of wrapping up these. They're still like not put away. I need to edit the videos. I need to put my layouts in online galleries and stuff like that. So I tend to do almost like batches. Like I'll work on a bunch of layouts, I'll edit a bunch of layouts, I'll plan a bunch of layouts, and then I just kind of start all over again. I noticed that doing them one at a time, I tend to lose focus very quickly. So especially with something like this sort of kill a kit, stretch a kit type mentality, I really do try to work within that batch method and try to get as much done as I can. Now, this is one of those sketches where I put down the photos, I put down the paper, and then I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I know that I don't need to dedicate any space for journaling. I have a generalized idea of where I'm going to put a title. I don't know what that title is going to be yet. This was sort of in that time period where I was bouncing title ideas back and forth from a friend who had access to the Writing to Remember ebook that Allison Davis put out. And my favorite section of that book is all the title ideas. And so I was kind of text messaging back and forth with her and kind of picking and choosing. So I kind of know that I'm going to put the title on my right. When I get frustrated or I don't really know what I'm going to do with embellishing, I stop and I work on something that I do know what decisions I have made or I want to make. So in this instance, I shifted gears and started working on my title because I knew where it was going, and at this point I knew what I wanted it to say. I did make my little DIY thickers or dickers. I actually used, I mentioned this in a previous video, I used a floral pattern paper from this collection that I don't love it. And I don't want to get to the point where at the end of this kit is just a bunch of pattern papers that I don't enjoy. So in an effort to use them, I'm using them as the like inside layering pieces for stacked die cuts. And it makes me feel better that the paper's getting used even if I'm not seeing it. And that probably sounds weird, but to me, it makes sense. And I've mentioned this before, I like my titles to have different sizes, different textures, different mix of like tile stickers, thickers, dickers, whatever it may be. I like that look. And so I had brought these yellow little tile stickers, and I think I had a pink set with me. And I basically just figured out which one had enough ease in it, in a sense. And so I went with this one. And then you saw me writing on a piece of paper. I do this a lot when, especially if I'm tired and I know I'm not really focused. Write it down, make sure you know how to spell, even if it's something easy like greatest. Make sure you know how to spell, that you have enough letters. And then because I knew I was centering it over another word, I like to just figure out where's the middle. And then I spell my word out from the middle. I mean, my greatest joy is not really like this like dynamic title, but again, I don't put a whole lot of, I don't want to say I don't put a lot of thought into it, but I tend to just find something that I feel like works and I settle on it and I move on. If I sit and try to find the perfect embellishing or the perfect title, I'll be stuck forever. So I went back to embellishing and I was like, I don't like any of the stuff that I picked. I ended up grabbing these two big floral clusters, cutting them in half, and I just was like, you know what, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make like a little triangle here around the main photo. And then I'm going to use things like word phrases and tiny hearts, and we're going to call it good. Knowing that I just wasn't feeling the embellishing, I feel like it's done. I went ahead and just kind of cleaned up all of that stuff. I do take a sort of second or third look through the stickers because, like I mentioned before, I'm having a hard time using them. And you would think that like it's a 6x12 set of stickers, it shouldn't be that bad. There's a lot of stuff on there. So I think I need to have one of those layouts where it's just like a lot of fun, a lot of interest, and just a lot of stuff. Now, because I kind of went minimal with embellishing, I felt like it needed something, and I kind of have that, like, what is it, like intrusive thoughts that, you know, they're like, you should stitch. It's going to take a while, but you should totally stitch. And so I was like, okay, fine. So I decided to just stitch a like tone-on-tone white border kind of all the way around. I think it does help give all of those squares kind of like a finished edge. I think it would have been cute had I been thinking about it to add like some tilted or like wonky strips of pattern paper at like the top and the bottom. I didn't think about that until just now. Because of the sizes of everything, I had a larger margin above and below, so I did have the room for it. I just didn't really think about it. Again, when I'm not at my house and I'm sitting down and doing a layout like start to finish like this, I'm actually less focused and like less creative. I'm almost just kind of in assembly line mode. I did, by this point in the crop, switch over to some music so that I could just kind of not necessarily tune everybody out and like ignore everybody, I just kind of needed to not people for a little bit and just sort of get some stuff done. So I went back to my love, these little stacked paper hearts. I just love them. This is it's a set from All To New, and it's Mandala Maker or something like that. It actually coordinates with a stamp set. I don't think I bought the stamp set. I kind of want it after I watched a recent video. I saw somebody using it in a card making video, and I was like, oh yeah, there's a stamp set. I didn't get it. I should go get it. But I like the fact that there's 7 sizes of hearts, and so there's like a tiny step up between the sizes. So to me, I love that. I don't like when there's like a big jump. And then it cuts 4 at a time. So it's just a little bit more, like, less labor intensive, I guess. So here's all my detail photos, all that kind of stuff. Make sure to open the description box for links, information, Sarah's channel. Go check out what she made this week, all that kind of good stuff, playlist, all that stuff down in the description box. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later. And as always, thank you for spending some time with me. Bye.